safety comes first with the First Alert Radar Network. First just got faster. From the station that's on your side, News 12, First at 5, continues.
Well, it's a hot and hazy day across the CSRA. Between the summer humidity and the Canadian wildfire smoke, it's downright unpleasant to be outside. In a few minutes, we'll take a look at how you can protect yourself from the poor air quality. But first, we're going to send things over to First Alert Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale in the Weather Center. And Riley, this smoke could actually be helping us off with the heat here.
Yeah, actually, so will all these particles in the sky kind of block out around Augusta on the west side of town. We are dry right now, but looking at a little bit better rain chances the next few days. We'll have an update for you in just about 10 minutes.
Thank you, Riley. New at 5, the Richmond County Sheriff's Office says 26 businesses are now signed up for the Sheriff's Office's plan to clean up Washington Road. That's up from 17 just last week. The initiative started yesterday to clear up crime and homelessness impacting business near the I-20 corridor. Our Audrey Nicholas is live now. And Audrey, you've been out there all day.
Some businesses say they have seen an increase in police presence and that there doesn't seem to be as many people loitering. But that was not the case for every single business that I spoke to. Some owners say they aren't able to see a change as quickly. They say that even though there seems to be less people out, they are still here. They tell me they're hoping law enforcement can help solve the problem over time. I spoke with one employee from Raceway where unhoused people are known to hang around, and she's been able to see a change in just the last couple of days.
I don't see much hanging around. You know, they come just a little bit and then they go, but police, I can see them going around, staying on the side. Maybe that helps a lot.
Well, I've been out here on Washington Road. I've seen people walking around, some in and out of the road. I was out here, though, about 4 hours today and saw a couple of deputies patrolling. Coming up on News 12 at 6 o'clock, you'll hear more from a Raceway employee and the changes other businesses are hoping to see in the next few weeks.
All right, thanks, Audrey. We will continue to keep an eye on how this progresses. Well, football season is right around the corner, and the Georgia Bulldogs are searching for their third straight national championship. Well, it's day 2 of SEC Media Day, and Kirby Smart hit the podium addressing the status of his team heading into the new season. News 12 Sports Director Dan Booth joins us now live, taking the spotlight in Nashville. Dan.
The two-time defending national champion Georgia Bulldogs have a history on their minds because they're trying to become the first team since Minnesota in the 1930s to complete a three-peat. The pipeline from Athens to the NFL has gotten a lot bigger over the past couple of years. Between the two national championship teams, a total of 25 Bulldogs have been selected in the NFL draft, which is more than any other college program during that time period. With a roster full of talented players returning, a stacked recruiting class for 2024, and the idea of a historic three-peat inspiring Athens to stay hungry, the future is looking bright, and Kirby Smart's ability to get his players to buy into a team-first mentality is a key part to that.
It's like a constant improvement for us, right? Better never rests. And we firmly believe that. So, we've done a lot of studies this offseason at things we can do better and things we can improve on. And our kids understand that we don't want to be just a football factory. We want to produce people that are quality citizens that do a great job in the community.
One of the many players to keep an eye out for this year is Brock Bowers. The Bulldogs tight end won the 2022 John Mackey Award for being the best tight end in all of college football. If Bowers has another stellar season, there's a lot of people out there, including myself, who believe he could be a top 10 pick in next year's NFL draft. Our SEC Media Days coverage of the Georgia Bulldogs continues on News 12 at 6 o'clock when Alyssa Lyons and I break down the Dogs' recent off-the-field concerns and their future at quarterback.
Well, I think those quarterbacks, whoever they pick, are going to have a very good selection with Brock Bowers there being at the tight end position. A very versatile player to have on the field and certainly going to make things easier. Thanks
No
for
doubt.
Looking forward to that. Well, one person is dead after a pickup slams into the Vintage Gardens retirement community. This happening at around 1 this afternoon at Sweetwater Road in Murrow Road Extension, just outside of North Augusta. The truck went completely inside the building, as you can see here. Sheriff Jody Rollins says the driver, 58-year-old Timothy Miller, appears to have been in medical distress. She says that witnesses saw Miller barely able to keep his head up. He died before deputies got there. Vintage Gardens says a mother and daughter were inside the unit that was hit, and they were both hospitalized with unknown injuries. Tonight, Columbia County City Council will decide whether to approve plans for Parker's Kitchen. The proposal for the kitchen and gas station on South Bel Air Road is not a popular one. 2 weeks ago, neighbors convinced the Columbia County Planning Commission to vote against a Parker's Kitchen at another location. Many hope the same thing happens tonight, with fears over noise levels and its proximity to homes. All new tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock. Our Nick Velan is following tonight's meeting and will have the latest. Well, if you've gone outside at all today, you've seen a haze hovering in the air there, covering our area. This is a look from one of our drones over Washington Road earlier today. And you can see behind me just how that smoke is affecting us right here in the CSRA. Tonight, air quality alerts mean you might need to protect yourself from the smoky air. Here's what you need to know right now with Abby Kasoris.
A special get-together that looked a little different in Dan Deming Haynes' mind.
Wearing masks indoors and outside we were fine. Now it's indoors are fine, outside let's put a mask on.
After traveling hundreds of miles to get together, they found a way to deal with the unescapable smoke.
Like, we came down 75 and the Midtown skyline was almost lost to the clouds.
This is a look at the Atlanta skyline on a clear day. This is what it looked like on Tuesday. The same haze in Augusta. Across the state, smoke from wildfires in Canada have created smoky and unhealthy conditions. The Environmental Protection Agency warns that smoke particles are small enough to enter into your bloodstream and your lungs. Short-term exposure could lead to allergies. Long-term exposure could lead to something much more severe, like heart or lung disease. Air quality alerts tell you when to limit your time outside, especially young babies, the elderly, and people with asthma.
They're feeling it probably in the back of their throat or in their eyes or in their lungs. Maybe breathing is difficult, which is why these code orange air quality alerts are issued.
First Alert Chief Meteorologist Jennifer Valdez says she's warning people to avoid exerting themselves, especially in the early evening hours.
But I wouldn't go for a jog. I wouldn't take the young kids to the playground in the late afternoon. Just little things you can do by rearranging your day so that you're avoiding breathing that in.
In Atlanta, I'm Abby Kasoris.
Thanks, Abby. Just ahead, we'll take a look at how the Low Country is preparing for when hurricane season starts to heat up. We are not looking forward to that, Riley.
I know, we are in hurricane season, luckily quiet right now, and we're not expecting much rain today if you are heading out to SRP Park, but get ready for a pretty hot ball game. We'll have an update on the full forecast just after the break.
Time and all night.
The Savannah Banana is making the most of their flooded field here. Yesterday, rain caused flooding across Savannah, Georgia, causing the popular comedy baseball team to postpone their next game. You can see from the photo, it's at least an inch of standing water on their field. We have the Green Jackets playing tonight. Do we have any chances of any rain here, or rather anytime soon? We could use some rain right now, Riley, with that smoke.
Oh, yeah.
Too.
I know. The rain would actually be very welcomed across the region, help wash out the sky from all the smoky haze we have. But luckily, if you are heading out to SRP Park tonight, you don't have to worry about those type conditions. We're not expecting any storm activity for the game tonight. Honestly, over the next several days, storm chances are remaining 30% or less, so not a whole lot of rain in the long term. We still have a lot of smoke to the weekend. They do drop off into the low 90s, and that type of weather should continue into early next week.
Thanks, Riley. As you can see behind me, it's mostly quiet in the Atlantic right now. The only hurricane here not set to hit the U.S., but that did not stop counties in the Low Country from planning for the worst. Ryan Tizmenisky shows us how.
Beaufort County normally evacuates on a Category 4, so we have to make sure all their equipment's ready. They have to exercise so much. The amateur radio operators are here, and it's very exciting.
County services aren't the only ones testing. Amateur radio operators are also crucial to disaster response, so they're here too.
People do not realize that there are amateur radio operators out there, and this is the primary main of communications. If everything goes down for us, all electronics go down, you still have the ham radio operations.
The town of Hampton is one of the locations that Beaufort County's Emergency Management Division is able to utilize as a headquarters in the event of an evacuation. If an evacuation does take place, the town also opens shelter for people escaping disaster.
Hampton County is not in an evacuation zone. We do not evacuate, but Beaufort County does. So Hampton County will be an evacuation route. for those coming in off the island, and we will do our best to show our hospitality.
And these tests will happen periodically until hurricane season is over.
Did you buy something from Amazon you wish you hadn't? Returning them is easy, but sending back too many things could get you banned. I'm Jamie Tucker. Everything you need to know about Amazon's return policy coming up.
In life, read this bake and brace the fin life.
All right, what do we got? Looks like 64 yards to the pin. About 64 mile per hour winds. Dude, there's no wind. Hand me my 64-degree wedge. What's it with you and 64? Are you 64? .com.
Well, now that Amazon Prime Day is behind us, you may have ordered something that you've decided to return for whatever reason, but sending back too many things could get your account suspended. Our consumer tech reporter Jamie Tucker explains.
If you buy things from Amazon, you probably return things to Amazon. It's easy, and for Prime members, it's free most of the time. But those free returns cost Amazon billions of dollars a year.
Returning items simply requires you to click the order, choose the item you want to return, and then you'll be asked for a reason, none of which are, I changed my mind. Then print out a shipping label and box it up. Or save a QR code, take the item to a UPS, Staples, or Kohl's store, and show them the code. That item shouldn't even be in a box. It's trickier if you buy something from a third-party seller who shipped the item. Those retailers have their own return policies. You may be able to get a refund within 30 days, but you may have to pay for that return shipping. On this $10 item, it cost me $6 to return it. Now, some things cannot be returned. According to Amazon's policy, items missing a UPC code, software programs, some jewelry and health items, and live insects. Yes, Amazon sells live worms, crickets, ladybugs, and cockroaches. You're going to be stuck with those. The National Retail Federation says last year, retailers lost $816 billion in sales because of returns. And on average, retailers expect about 18% of merchandise will be returned for one reason or another.
And keep this in mind, Amazon keeps track of your returns. If you return 5 to 10 items a month, or maybe 10% of what you buy on Amazon without a good reason, you could get an email or notification from Amazon saying that your account is going to be suspended, or you could even be banned from shopping at Amazon. That's What the Tech. I'm Jamie Tucker.
And Amazon recently started charging customers $1 for some returns through UPS stores. New today, upgrades are coming to I-16 Industrial Park in Swainsboro. Georgia Senators Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff announced $2 million in funding for the project. The money will help finish sewer infrastructure and will create more than 100 local jobs. It's coming from a more than $1 million federal grant. On top of that, more than $760,000 is coming from state and local funds. Well, check this out. A popular sweet store is opening a new location in Augusta. On the Peach Cobbler Factory's website, you can see it says what an Augusta location is that's coming soon. No word yet on where exactly it will be. The dessert shop offers old-fashioned cobbler, cinnamon rolls, banana pudding, peach tea, and cold brew if you weren't sold already. I will be there when they cut the ribbon. That sounds delicious.
That seems to be a popular theme across the area. I've seen a lot of dessert shops open up.
I thought you were going to say peach cobbler stores, and I was going to be
that's the first I've heard of it. That's the first I've heard of the peach cobbler store.
I'm surprised that they even have peaches. We had a bad season.
That is true. It
So
was a
apple
pretty warm
cobbler.
winter, so we didn't have a lot of cooling hours.
You like peach cobbler? I'm more of an apple cobbler guy.
I love peach cobbler. Apple cobbler or apple pie?
Banana pudding.
Banana pudding
All
is
of
good
it.
too.
Give it to me now.
That's a classic summer treat. Is some
It
good
is.
banana
I
pudding.
could use that now.
Vanilla wafers.
Are you okay?
I'm pretty hungry now. All right, high temperatures tomorrow staying pretty hot, mid to upper 90s across the area. Potentially some showers though by for Wednesday. Well, I don't think you get on the forecast just after the break.
It seems to be on everybody's mind. The Powerball jackpot has crossed the $1 billion mark with a B. Nobody won during last night's drawing. Several players in Georgia and South Carolina got very close, however. 2 South Carolina tickets were just one number short of the jackpot, and one person in Georgia won $2 million. If you're interested in playing, remember to buy your tickets before 10 tomorrow night. The odds of winning, though, are 1 in 293 million, and you only get the $1 billion if you choose the yearly payout option. You could take home an estimated $516 million if you choose the lump sum. Either way, you're looking pretty good. $1 billion. Go get your tickets.
All right, so I want to know, if you take the lump sum, is it half of what the actual jackpot is because that's what's taken out in taxes, or they say if you want the lump sum, you only get half of it, and then you get taxed on the half a million?
I do not work for whoever coordinates this, Riley.
I'm wondering.
I cannot answer that question for you.
Because I think it does end
That's
up
a good question.
I think as far as like capital gains, I think you would pay like 45%.
It's a lot on
so
taxes.
almost half, which is outrageous. I would be really appalled if I wasn't.
Are you $516 million and you're still gonna find a
But
way
then
to
you lose
complain?
half of it
Riley,
instantly.
that's generational wealth. Go buy a boat and fish somewhere, buddy. I don't know what to tell you.
I'd definitely buy a boat if I won the lottery, 100%. But we're looking at a pretty hazy